the mic on my headphones doesn't seem to be picking up, but when we did it backwards, when I played it back, it sounded all right. So we don't need to worry about that.
Justin, watching you get flustered over technical issues is better than half the shit that I've seen on BBC Three. So it was you were more entertaining than Mrs. Brown Boys or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
I feel like I'm in trouble as well because you've gone from J or Motty to Justin. Justin.
Oh, sorry.
He just adds to the air of me. I'm in trouble. That's how I get cold.
Yeah. Sorry, Jay. You will be a naughty boy.
Exactly. I think what it is right. My microphone's on these headphones, and these headphones are like they've had better days. They're like the you can see.
Fucking hell, your ears swallowed off. Jesus, Laura, man, give him some spends.
She's away. I'm home alone tonight.
She's away. Where's she gone?
She's gone to Cadbury's World. She's doing like a treat with each one of the kids. So she took my lad to Gulliver's World. She took my eldest to Cadbury's World. And my youngest is going to Harry Potter World next week, I think.
Nice. Does she want to take any more kids with her?
You've got a few there.
Yeah, if she wants to extend the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, considering she's not even taking all three of ours, then probably not. But the other two got at my mum and dad's. So yeah.
Do they want to take any more kids?
I'll ask him, mate. You know what I mean? If they can have my kids, they can handle anything.
The envy that ran through my body, Jay, when you told me that you had the house to yourself all day, I was like, what's he done? Where's he hid him? The bastard.
They were like, what have you been doing? What are you going to do? I'm like, nothing. To quote George Costanza, nothing. Oh. That's all I've done all day. I've sat on that couch and I watched Parasite. I watched, what else did I watch? I watched the Justin Fashion News Story on Netflix, Forbidden... I forgot the name of it now. One sec, that's going to really bug me. Sorry. I watched it today and I've already forgotten the name. Forbidden Games, that was it. I watched that and a bit of Seinfeld. Yeah, so
nice.
Just been chilling, and then that's it, man. I was in work all this morning, so it's not been a complete day of doing completely nothing. But I was in work first thing this morning doing the news outside Old Trafford, and that was it. So yeah, talking to work, mate. You've been non-stop. We're not spoke for a week.
Well, let me apologise to everybody that's been chasing up the podcast because it's my fault. So I've been working 13 days straight, mate. When I finished my show tonight, tomorrow is the first day in 2 weeks straight that I've not had a day off. So I apologise, but kids to feed and shit, and I've had a fucking terrible week with my dog. Has been ill, and we thought we were having to put the dog down this week.
You're joking? Sorry, man, I didn't realise.
No, yeah, she looks like she's going to be all right, but woke up midweek and she couldn't move the back of her legs, so fucking took her to the vets, and then they sort of, because of all the corona things, you're not allowed to go into the vets, so you got to hand your dog over at the door. And then it was a proper fucking Marley and me moment, and I was like, what's up? And the vet came back out without the dog. Fucking tears and all that. She goes, it looks like it's spinal damage or spinal disease, and we'll give her morphine now. We'll have to take her away, and then we'll see how she is in the morning. But you should probably expect the worst. I'm like, fucking hell. And then the following morning, she jumped on the bed and licking me fucking face and then shitting everywhere as usual. So I was like, so she's still hobbling around a bit, but I can't work out what she's done. It's like she's jumped off something and then knackered the back of her legs. But I think the vet was probably, being a bit over cautious. Thankfully, I didn't allow him to put the dog down when she was quite all right.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We're not sure we're going to put it down anyway. What? It's a good job I was going to say it's a good job he's a vet and not a doctor, but it's not much better, is it? Like,
no,
you know what
no.
I mean? Exactly, and it's not like doctors put down people. So yeah, he's probably needs to be a bit more patient as a vet there. Do you know what I mean? I know there's a lot going on, but come on. Like,
but I think she's probably looking at the pound signs because they charge you for that stuff as well, don't they? Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying there's a conspiracy theory, but times are hard and the vets have been closed during lockdown and trying to get that money back by fucking getting rid of dogs. Jesus,
got a problem with dog's tail. Yeah, we've had to put it down.
Yeah,
what?
yeah. $2,000.
Yeah. What? One of the teeth has fell out. Yeah, we've had to put it down. It's over. Sorry. But here's your bill. Stop crying. And can you get out, please? I've got other patients to see.
Just wipe your tears with this receipt.
Yeah. We do accept card. Yeah, mate. It sounds like you've had a busy week of it, rough and smooth, mate. But I'm glad that you're doing loads because you're doing what you love. At that there BBC as well, man. I've been listening. It's been good stuff.
Cheers, man.
So do an intro.
Yeah, you can do an intro.
This is that's Scotty and I'm Motty. Apologies to Scotty because it took me ages with technical difficulties. When I say technical difficulties, getting the show started, it was simply my headphones weren't working and the microphone on my headphones weren't working. It's not like we've got some sort of fancy editing suite here. It's Premiere Pro with my headphones, and between the two of them, it wasn't going smoothly. But we're going to talk about the sort of latest news and what's going on. One thing I wanted to talk about, because gone a bit viral this week, me kid. Went a bit viral this week. You eat sweet. You probably made it go viral, to be fair. As we all know, the brother of the Manchester bomber, I won't name either of them because that's probably what they'd want. But the brother of the Manchester bomber, he was convicted this week of his part in the death of the 22 victims of the Manchester Arena attack. He got 55 years from the judge. It was weird because he got that not rather than full life and all the rest of it because he was under a certain age when it happened, and I think sort of the legal sort of restrictions were you couldn't just do it whole life. You had to give him a sort of a time or a year. And I think in the past, we've seen it. I remember Psycho Stapleton. I think he got 30 years because he was a kid when he shot that. I can't remember his first name. He shot the lad, was it Anu Bevdi on New Year's Day, just for no reason. But he was like, I think he was 89. He got 30 years. But the point I'm getting to is the guy got 55 years because that was pretty much the maximum the judge could give him by law. And then Sky News were going over it on the pay-per review, and they had someone on from, is it Navarro Media, who was sort of making the point that she was concerned about the length of the sentence and was worried about civil liberties, basically.
Yeah.
And this clip was on the internet. The clip was on Twitter, and I sort of retweeted it, and I didn't even comment really. I just actually wrote down what had been said. And the sort of the sad thing was for me was the guy from The Sun who was on the paper review with her actually ended up talking a lot of sense. He said, the reason he got that sentence because he killed 22 children and their parents at a pop concert, and the sentence sort of fits the crime. The reason it's so unusually long, as she called it, is because the crime was unusually heinous. It's killing probably one of the most awful crimes we've ever seen in this country. And that's why it was so long. And there's been a big reaction. It's been a bit weird because I've had a lot of sort of people that wouldn't normally agree with me or, retweet me or like my tweets in my mentions, sort of right-wing types and Brexit types and gammons, for want of a better word, who normally are having a go at me because normally I'd be tweeting something about, I tweet about football, but I'm more left. I'm consider myself left-wing, I'm a Labour support, whatever that means nowadays, and, a Remainer. But a lot of people were angry about it. It's not just right or conservatives. A lot of people just thought she was talking nonsense. And it just opens up that debate about, me and you've spoken about before, about do you always have to have the opposing view to everything? And is there always an opposing view to every argument, especially in the mainstream media, even one where someone who's murdered 22 people, mainly children as well, when they get a sentence of 55 years, is there really any questions about that? And do we always have to have that opposing view when we discuss certain things?
Yeah, it's just typical Sky News and Murdoch, isn't it? And, people are going after clickbait as they're trying to get anyone on there. And I think that they did that knowing fine well. What's the actual background? Is she a journalist? I don't know the name of it.
I think she's called a contributing editor. I think she's called.
A contributing editor.
So is it Navarro Media or Navarro? Forgive me, I should know this. Sorry. It's not. I think it is a sort of left leaning site, and they do quite a lot of pronunciation. Novara Media. Sorry, I was pronouncing it wrong. So she's a contributing editor to that site and that website. Just if you've not sort of don't know who they are, it's an independent left-wing alternative media organisation. It's been around for about 9 years, so very much of a sort of left-wing liberal type of coming from that type of stance, which, to be honest with you, is more or less where I come from most of the time. It's just, on this particular issue, I don't think there is even a right or a left. There's a right and a wrong, and it's like he got what was what was right.
I think he got a fucking lenient service if you're looking at a lenient sentence. 22 people being murdered, 55 years. What's that? 2.5 years per person.
I mean, I think the lad's. I think he's 21 now.
No, what I mean, I mean, what I'm saying is, if you got 55
I get what
years,
you're saying. Yeah. Sorry, the point I was going to make there was, it's not even necessarily a life sentence. I mean, he could get out in his 70s.
Yeah.
He's 23, not 20. But I think he was 20 at the time. So yeah, he could be out when he's 78. But the point I was making is he may still see the light, outside of the cell, which adds to the air of it's not long enough.
Yeah, I mean, I got not trolled, but I got quite a lot of kickback from when I retweeted it, and some people were saying she's put on there, and all she was talking about was it from a legal point of view as to what the reasons were behind the judge doing it, not necessarily that she was challenging the 55 years. But I don't know how much of the actual whole clip you'd seen, or whether that Sky Sports thing, Sky News, had just clipped it there, because then it sort of does show her in that light as though that's the context of what she was sort of saying it in. And a lot of people were sort of kicking back at me saying they're just manipulating her views to make it look like more of a sort of softy left versus the right-wing press of the Sun. And obviously nobody wants to agree with anyone from the Sun. And I don't think he said anything that any rational human being would say any different anyway, regardless of what leanings you are. And I know that it does bring the sort of gammons and the right wings, the far right, out of the woodwork when we discuss this case, because I mean, we spoke about before on the podcast is when the Manchester bomb happened. There was EDL and Britain's first march is around the corner from me, and I had to go. I had to we went to my mum's for the weekend because I knew they were coming up, and I thought I can't be doing them walking around the streets, because there's a large Asian community where I live, and for some reason they decided to come up to Tameside, and I'm like, what the fuck? What?
As you do.
Yeah, like Tommy Robinson. I'm like, what? I just couldn't understand it, and then that's the thing that the leeches, aren't they? They'll attract themselves to that. And I'm sure if anyone didn't know your background, Jay, that when you had that comment, and you didn't have any, like I said, you didn't put anything on top of the tweet to sort of put your say on it.
No,
do you know what I mean? If you're just coming to Jay Motty's Twitter handle via that one tweet, they probably presume, oh, he's one of us.
There was. I had it made me laugh because it came up on my thing. Louise Mensch's replied to one of your tweets, and I used to hammer Louise Mensch on Twitter. I can't stand her. And she'd replied sort of tagging Harry Cole in it, the guy from the Sun. It was like a sort of the most bizarre thing ever, because these are two people who I would never buy the Sun. I wouldn't buy my bottom with it. And I can't be doing with Louise Mensch either. But these are two people that sort of not agreed, but we're on the same side of the argument, if you can say that, as what I was. And listen, I get like the point she was making about civil liberties. I get that, like, not to this, but civil liberties are important. But I think the way she was sort of saying it was, she called it unusually long. She was saying she didn't understand. She wanted to be sure that the judge hadn't gone out of his parameters, his legal parameters. And the thing is, you should know this. Like, if you're going on there, you should know that the judge didn't. And he wouldn't, because if he did, then
because he's a judge.
He's a judge. He's not making this up on the huff and gone, do you know what? I'm only allowed to give him 30 years, but because I want, because of this crime, I'm going to give him 55. It doesn't work like that. Like, if he did, then it would, when he goes on appeal, the sentence would get quashed and it'd get reduced to what it should. So he's working with a legal framework. I think what this is the whole thing of, right, I'm coming on for the left wing or the liberal side of things, so I'm going to argue that from that point of view. And I think, some people were having a dig at the girl who said it. Others were having a dig at Sky, saying they shouldn't put her on. And I think if you're going to go on Sky or wherever, I think you just should have your research and your facts. And I think that's the problem, because you're asking a question there that you should know the answer to. And when you don't know the answer to, at best, you're ill-prepared. And at worst, it's offensive and crass, because if you know the answer to it and you're asking it anyway, then why are you doing that? Why are you trying to start a debate around something which, on the day of the sentencing, is obviously very upsetting to a lot of people. Some people, like you just argued, and I agree with, may even feel that 55 years is actually a bit of a touch for him, because when you boil it down to 2.5 years per victim, it doesn't seem that sort of justified or that. Yeah, it doesn't seem that. But you know, we understand that we have rules and laws, and I get that, and I'm all for rules and laws. I'm not saying that you can just, you know, you should go out the window and we should start sort of dishing out every sentence that comes into our mind. There has to be some sort of legal framework to work within, but he'd work within that. And then when you're saying that thing, and it goes into that thing of, right, well, we've always got to have an opposing view, or we've always got to get an opposing view.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, people buy into it as well when they're from that side of the political spectrum. They feel like they have to argue that view. So if you're liberal, then I'm going to argue that about the perpetrator's rights.
Yeah, because I have to have an opinion for the sake of having an opinion, because I'm batting for my team. You know, and it's not like you can have middle ground politically or in a debate. You know what I mean? That isn't acceptable. They're not just because you have, by and large, different views left and right, you are allowed to come to some sort of common ground and agreement in it. And that's a massively frustrating thing. And when, again, it's these figureheads that come on in the guise of being the spokesperson for the left wing. And that's what I was getting a lot of criticism for, was saying, well, you're just putting on there and being critical of her. And that's helping the right wing out by showing, or by saying that she's, saying that's a left wing opinion. Do you know, does that make sense? So like, basically,
I got a lot of that, because in my mentions, it's more people going, this is why I'll never vote Labour. This is what will happen if the left wing. This is Corbynism.
But she doesn't speak for the whole of the you know what I mean? And like nobody in the general public in the main have heard of Navarro media, really. I mean, they might have online. You know, I'm sure they've got a decent online community, but by and large they've not. But now this girl has got this huge pedestal. That clip's gone viral via your site, and I'm sure Sky News have done pretty fucking well of it, because that'll just stoke the flames of people who will be outraged by it, because people don't watch the whole interview at all. They'll just see her saying like, "Oh well, I disagreed with the sentence." That'll be the takeaway line from that interview.
I know, and it's interesting. But as we're recording this, I think the person in question, she put out a statement. It's just actually, I think she just posted it about 40 minutes ago. So I'll read it just for the sake of fairness, and I don't want people sort of, you know, making their mind up without hearing her side of it. So she's saying, an out of context clip where I discuss being prudent during significant legal moments is circulating. The part where I express full solidarity and sadness with the victims and that nothing could assuage the pain of losing a loved one like this was cut. I want to clarify something. The clip part of the segment refers solely with the generally understood principle that we should always pay extra attention when such historic legal moments happen to know what legal precedent is set and its potential knock-on effect. It was not a judgment on this case at all. I'll read it out and then I'll comment. I fully understand the pain of these events. I have lost a family member to a similar attack. Churches attended by members of my family abroad are frequently targeted by extremists. It does not need to be explained to me that what was done was by extremists. It does not need to be explained to me that what was done was heinous. The person who killed my uncle in a hotel attack was never sentenced. I know what that sudden, inexplicable and violent loss feels like. It's unimaginable, like someone's torn off a limb. We need to understand the root causes of such violence to ensure nobody else would experience such a thing. It's not enough to settle simply for punishment once the act is done and people's lives are ruined or taken away. Being able to know the details when significant legal decisions are made is important for our democracy, because it's never about one case, but about how it can percolate down the system. Knowing how that decision was developed is important so we can keep our institutions. Being able to know the details being able to know the details when significant legal decisions are made. Oh, sorry, I think I've read that bit already. It's the way it's worded. So we can keep our institutions transparent. It's the way it's set up on the tweet. This is how we ensure that the precedent set by an exceptional case is not used in other cases to justify harsher sentence in the usual on weaker grounds. This is similar to how we believe that everyone has the right to be defended in court, even if it feels like they've done something indefensible. I hope that has clarified my comments beyond the off-the-wall interpretations being circulated. It's hard to squeeze nuance in a 30-second segment, so this is my attempt to do that. So that's like what she's sort of saying to explain her point of view. I mean, so yeah, you know, I can sympathise with that. She's obviously been through it herself. Again, she's sort of clarifying that she says, you know, it's the details. Being able to know the details when significant legal decisions are made is important for our democracy. I get that, but I mean, those were explained. You know, we knew the reason that sentence was handed out, and it wasn't a civil liberties issue. That's the problem I had with that. You know, it doesn't matter about how you say. He's not taking that context, questioning the civil liberties issue, and there wasn't one there because you know why the judge handed that out, and if you didn't, then why didn't you? If you're going to go and talk about it, so I don't know. I'm coming 34 hours, whatever, after that clip has been out. You know, obviously she's had time to reflect and to put out a statement, and I get it. But it still doesn't ring that true to me in certain terms. I still felt like she was saying, you know, you've got to be careful, and it's still, even that statement seems to me like we've got to be careful here on what we're doing when we sentence these type of people and why we're giving out such big sentences. We've got to be careful about that, and I think that's missing the point. That this was almost like a one-off, and that's the reason he got a one-off sentence.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I took from when you're reading the sentence there is that she said there was part of her interview that didn't make the clip. I mean, and that's pretty convenient because Sky News knew fine well what the output was going to be, what the upshot was going to be of that one clip. And if she did have some sort of, you know, I can't remember what is word for word, but she said that she did have massive sympathy with the people that were murdered and their families because she had gone through it herself. But surely Sky News should have some sort of. They've not got any, but if you're going to put an interview out like that, you should put the whole thing out there so there is some sort of context. Now, I think we both agree with her, the rhetoric and the words that she used about the civil liberties case and questioning the sentence maybe was wrong, but I still think that she'll have been attacked on social media, I imagine, following that by the militant left wing, which there are, and I don't think that we should hide away from that because they're very, very easy to sort of jump on people like that. Militant right wing, militant left wing.
Yeah,
I get fucking lost. It's, you know.
I think even then, just looking for the replies, a lot of people are saying, you know, that you need to say sorry, and she's sort of saying, well, I don't need to say sorry, sort of thing. I mean, it is a bit of a shit show on all fronts, really. And I think that it's one of those debates that I don't know. Yes, civil liberties debates are good, but I don't really think it was necessary in this case. I don't really think that's the issue that we should have been discussing about, you know, does this set a bad precedent or is this the legal framework that, you know, that's not really the sort of argument I think a lot of people, I mean, I know it's difficult because, especially difficult for us because we're from Manchester, you know, you've been close to this, you've spoken about it, you felt it like I did, we both grieved over those victims. I've interviewed some of the victims' families, you know, Georgina Callender's mum, Leslie, I interviewed her. I interviewed Adam Lawler, who was survived the arena attack, but he had injuries. I think he was there with Olivia Campbell-Hardy. I interviewed Olivia Campbell-Hardy's dad. I've interviewed a few of the victims' families and you know, some of the survivors as well. And obviously being from Manchester and just remembering that event and sort of how it affected us, it is close to your heart and it does get you emotional when you hear sort of people, even in a roundabout way, questioning a sentence of one of the men responsible, because the judge said he was just as responsible as anyone else. It does get you, and it does get you emotional. It's difficult to put that emotion to one side because it's so sort of powerful. You know, just talking about this now makes me angry and upset. So it is difficult, and we are in it.
Yeah,
I just feel like we've got lost here, and you know, and you're right, you can blame me because I've retweeted something, but we got lost having an argument and a discussion that isn't the discussion we should be having.
Like, yeah, no, not at all. And I always think when we're talking about when she's talking about the sentence sets precedences and how it trickles down and people's civil liberties, this was for with all will and hope in my body was an incident that isn't a common occurrence. I think when you're looking at civil liberties, and the precedence that it sets is when it's a more sort of common offence. Do you know what I mean? This was huge in the sense that it's not a normality where civil liberties and the precedence that we look at needs to be is more, I don't know, your everyday crimes. You know what I mean? Where people are losing their civil liberties that way.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean, and it's like the line, this is how we ensure that the precedent set by an exceptional case is not used in other cases to justify harsher sentencing than usual on weaker grounds. And I think, you know, I don't think that's really. It's a difficult.
It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem relevant.
No, I don't think it does. I think, you know, we know what he did, we know what he got, and we know why he got it.
Yeah.
There's not, we're going to start, you know, chucking shoplifters in prison for 55 years now. I think, you know, like I said, there doesn't always have to be that counter argument. I think, yes, you should, in most cases, have a different view. I get that, and we always have it. Me and you have it on here all the time. But I think when something like that happens, you know, there's not always need to go down a debate of, let's talk about civil liberties, because this guy's got 55 years.
Yeah.
It leaves a bad taste in the mouth, and there's a reason for that. You know what it
was, Jay? He seems like the editor of Sky News has gone, right, well, we'll get the Sun on because we know what sort of point of view they'll have on the conversation. Now, what we need is an opposing view. Now, how many different sort of opposing views or ways of challenging that did they actually have? Do you know what I mean? They couldn't get someone who was going to be pro the person, the bomber. They couldn't have got that, could they? They wasn't going to go and get like I can't imagine anyone from the Muslim community was going to go on and talk about it. So that's the reason they've gone for that person, because that was probably the one and only angle that they had to try and shoehorn someone in who had an opposing view, because that's how that show set up, and that was the one unique angle that they had. And unfortunately for all concerned, that it was a stupid view. I think she probably regrets going on the show, on the show now after this. But we move on, and I just think there needs to be better decisions made from editors. And like you said, we don't need to be having these. We can left and right can agree on certain things. You don't always have to have fucking talking heads that are opposed on certain things, and especially when it's as sensitive to this.
100% agree, and we've seen it in the past. Brexit has divided us more than ever, but on certain issues, like the Manchester Arena attacker, the one that got a sentence he deserved. If not, obviously we'd like to see longer, but within the laws of the parameters of the law, that was what he should have got. We've seen it in the past as well. Grenfell, for example, we saw in the middle of sort of a fractious country for a little brief moment, a lot of the right and left agreeing, not all the time, but on certain things. There's certain things that you call like an open goal of tapping. And this guy deserved an unusually long sentence is one of them. But as you say, we move on, and hopefully, with the whole arena thing in what's going on, the families having to go through all this again with the sentencing and I know they're living it every day anyway, but it's surreal of it. It's just been a bit of a reminder.
And that's where Sky News has to have some sort of fucking responsibility, because you shouldn't be doing it to have you shouldn't be looking for engaging or entertaining content, and that's what they were fucking trying to do. And you should show respect and sympathy with the families that are going through enough on if there's any sort of light at the end of the things that they're going, the turmoil that they're continually going through may have come during this. And now the outshot is that people are talking about someone from a website media, and that's all they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think they'll ever get fully closure, but we don't need to be causing more arguments on what is already one of the most rawest subjects that's ever happened to this city and then people's lives. And I don't know if any of these watch it, but my heart goes out to you, and I struggled talking about this subject, whatever. So I'm sorry that this has all been brought up again for you, and that's all I can say.
No, you've said it, mate, and I think we both get very emotional around it. And I think one thing I will say is, again, the families and the survivors have given us all a lesson in dignity and how they've handled it. And saw Mine Het's mum on the telly just after the verdict. Tegan, she's spoken before. She's such a forgiving woman in the sense that she talks about not about vengeance and anger, but she talks about hope and coming together and things like that. And I've been, we've seen the reaction, we've seen the families how they've handled it, and they're a credit to this city and themselves. Yeah. And yet, hopefully they'll get a slight bit more closure from that scumbag getting 55 years in prison, and he'll be 78 when he gets first up for parole. And I'm not being overly dramatic when I think most of us hope he doesn't see his 78th birthday. Anyway, we move on. Let's move on to something much more happier and lighter. The government fucking up exam results.
Man, well, this is just another, you know, they've made more U-turns than my missus on a fucking driving test. And she's failed, and she's failed 5 times. And it's just, you know, how many times has the government got it wrong? I'm sick of seeing people defend or using the line of defence for how Boris Johnson and the Tory government have dealt with coronavirus, but by it. It's an unusual situation. You know, no one can be prepared for that. But they've got every single thing wrong. If this was a 100-meter hurdle race, the Tories have just ran through every fucking hurdle and fell over at most of them and got back up. You got A-level results, GCSEs, what was it? The school meals with Marcus Rashford, contract tracing, the testing from shutting lockdown earlier, the testing earlier on. The MPs having to go in and vote or stay at home and do votes. It's just been an absolute catastrophe. And the fact that they weren't doing a U-turn on the A-levels or GCSEs until the press got behind it, started kicking off, and there was a lot of protests online and in mainstream media. And then they were forced to U-turn. It's like, how can anybody continue to have any faith at all in this government? I work a hell of a lot with young people, especially in like deprived areas, through no fault of their own, and they haven't got. And a few of them were given like the glimmer of hope that they were given decent mock exam results that they were going to get, and clinging on to that and thinking, all right, well, I might have an opportunity of going to college. And then and then a week before, they're seeing all this thing like 2 million people due to this fucking postcode lottery. You know, we're going to get downgraded because we're going to get downgraded by 2 levels or whatever it is, due to the government fuck up. How can you base someone's future on an algorithm? We're not in the fucking Matrix. Do you know that? It boils my piss something fucking rotten. How dare you do that? And I can't imagine. Like we're both parents. Unfortunately, our kids aren't of an age where they would be going on to university or higher education. Mate, if that was me, I'd be kicking down fucking number 10. I'd be like, to Boris sticking an algorithm up his fucking ass. It's like, are you having a fucking laugh?
I mean, do you know what makes you laugh? Is teachers have assessed it and gone, this is the grade that they're going to get and deserve. And they've even had mock exams or whatever they've had where it's gone, right, this is the grade. And if in some cases screwed it up, thrown it away and go, no, we've got this code, this algorithm that's going to give it you. Yeah. So they've ignored like the evidence and gone pivoted to this fucking, like you say, the Matrix type algorithm. It's like, reminds me of you've ever seen The Social Network where he writes it on his window. Yeah. He's got his fucking algorithm there and he's gone, no, this is the perfect algorithm. Except it's obviously not, because it's got it completely wrong. And you can see that from the evidence. If it was perfect, the algorithm results would have probably matched some of the teachers' sort of estimates a little bit more closely, but they didn't. And in some cases, they were fucking miles apart. And it's
what does that say that the government think of the teachers if they're not trusting teachers to grade their students correctly? What is that saying? What is that saying of the of the government? And I'm tired of this other line that's been spun is, oh well, they're doing the right thing now. They're not doing the right thing. They're just not doing they've just been told they've done the wrong thing and they're having to change it around. That's what it is. They're not doing the right thing.
It's the same shit all the time. It's like setting a fire to your neighbour's house, then helping him put it out and expecting credit. It's just fucking pisses me off. You're right. Like the free school meals, the U-turn there, wasn't that it was a great idea. It's like, remember when Trump overturned Obama's thing about big game hunting?
Yeah.
And then he went back on it. And everyone was like, well done, Mr. President. And like, what the fuck are you on about? Why did he even do that in the first place? And it's the same with this. They make mistakes that they don't need to make, massive fuck-ups. And then when there's outrage and people go, this is ridiculous, this shit's ridiculous, then they go, oh, hang on, we better change our mind. And then people go, well done, you corrected it. Right. And whose head's roll there? It's Gavin Williamson. Is he still in a job? Has he resigned yet?
Apparently he said he's not going to quit, and I think he's still going to keep the position at least for another year.
That's what I mean. No one even gets, like, no one loses the job like over this.
Let's put this.
There's no repercussions other than the people that have been through absolute turmoil for a week, whatever it is, or 4 days.
Yeah.
Kids who literally thought the futures were over.
Yeah.
Despite all the hard work, and at the end of it, these Tory toffs go, you know what? We've learned a lesson. I think we won't do it again. And I'm going to see it through. I'm not going to quit. Of course, you're not going to quit. You're getting paid fucking loads of money. You're in bed with Boris Johnson, so you don't need to. It's a farce.
Here's an idea, right? So the algorithms for the GCSEs and A-level results were by and large based on the performance of the areas and postcodes of what these young people live with, or the years previous and how they'd done in GCSE results. So they were doing it on a sort of is that percentage thing or whatever. And so I reckon, why don't we take the same algorithm this time next year and say, right, well, is the Tory government a failure? And then we'll judge if they can have the jobs in 2021 based on how they've done this year. Because you'll all be out of a fucking job. You'd be sacked. Let's do that. Let's do fucking voting on algorithms.
The results of that, the algorithm will be smeared on the cell walls in shite.
Can you imagine? Being a 16-year-old is hard enough. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You've got the pressure of your parents, your peers, your future, and then you've got the fucking Tory government against you. Like, give me a break.
And honestly, mate, it's a disgrace. And obviously, I think there's some like all the toffs, the Eton lot, and all them lot. Their results were, predicted results were fine. They got what they expected. It was purely sort of, snobbery and punishing on a class-based system where anyone from like the lower classes or working classes, I should say, and the inner city schools and the teachers have overestimated here.
Yeah.
Because these kids can't possibly have worked really hard and be very intelligent and have got the grades they deserve. There must be something going on, so let's downgrade them. I mean, it was just so selective. There was no objectivity. It's all this algorithm was a load of bollocks. It's completely flawed. And as you said, it's been pointed out, and now they're just sort of blaming each other without actually taking any blame themselves. And it's a nonsense. And I feel for these kids who've been for it, because imagine how, like you say, imagine how difficult that's been. The angst you must have gone through, and it's not just, a lot has been highlighted about the kids who had like A star, or whatever, or AAA downgraded to B or D or whatever. But there's kids there who like, would have been getting 3 C's, which is very good. Yeah. Who may have come out with 3 F's or whatever, and that's no longer good enough to even get them into a uni. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, that's just as bad, because like, I did an access course, for example. So I just did a course when I was a mature student to get me into uni. That was my thing of I wanted to get into, I wasn't aiming for like I got into a very good uni, but I wasn't aiming for like Oxford or Cambridge. It was like getting to uni. So you imagine being told, well, you're not even going to uni now. That's not an option for
that's
you.
It.
When you've worked really hard.
You'd had planned, it's just that meal's no longer on the table for you.
It's not even you've got to go with your second or third choice. You've literally got no choice of higher education. And we live in it's different for me and you, a similar age. When I was growing up, when I was a youngster, the ratio, the amount of people that went to uni was a lot smaller. Now, a lot of people go to uni. A lot of people go into higher education. It's far more popular than it used to be. So you've got far more people that were just left hanging with this and facing the prospect of appealing. At one point, it looked like they're going to have to pay for appeals. Then, you've got the whole thing of how can you trust the appeal system when you can't trust the system that got you there in the first place? And it just adds to this. It all adds to this great big air of incompetence that we're seeing from this government. We're just seeing a government that completely have just dropped the ball on so many issues and so many, topics and problems we've got in this country. They've just not been able to solve them. They've been creating more problems on top of them. And this all comes during a pandemic when you need to have some trust and faith in your government. You need to be able to say, okay, I may not like them, but I can at least trust them when they're going to get us through this. And at the moment, I know you wouldn't trust them to organise a piss up in a brewery. They're fucking useless. They are, aren't they? On every front. Education, fucking useless. Health, fucking useless. And I don't mean NHS workers. I'm not saying that. I mean the people in charge in government are fucking useless. And then what does Boris Johnson do to sort of calm the situation? Fucks off on holiday. Great. Great stuff.
I seen that Nadia. What's her name? Nadia, the MP. Nadia. I can't remember. I'll find the surname in a minute. But she was sort of defending him before on Twitter, saying that Prime Minister was so close to death and he's been trying to save everybody during this pandemic. He deserves a flaming holiday. I'm sick of all the press sniping at him for this. Let me find the name.
I mean, tell you now, right? My only thing with Boris going on holiday, right, is I don't think it makes any fucking difference to this government because I don't think he has much of an active role in government. I think he's lazy and he's incompetent. And I think that, to be honest with you, he wants to be Prime Minister without doing any of the work. And this is why you've got that cretin Dominic Cummings being so powerful, because I think he comes up with the policies, comes up with the strategy, speaks to the ministers, briefs everyone. It's all him. And I think Boris is just sort of lazing his way through the job. So I don't think him going on holiday makes much of a difference other than the message it sets out to everyone. And listen, on the surface, a new dad going on holiday with his young child. I get it. Everyone's entitled to a holiday, including the Prime Minister. I get he wasn't well, but come on, spare me this whole sort of heroic nonsense. He nearly died. For starters, he got himself ill because he didn't listen to the advice that he was giving out. He was shaking hands with patients and stupidness like that, and not abiding by the very rules he expected us to. So then that no doubt played a part in getting ill. And then he told us all he'd recovered and he was fit enough to come back to work, but he obviously wasn't. Yeah. And now he's gone on holiday, and it's like he expects everyone to feel sorry for him. And it's like the whole, I'm a father to a newborn kid. Well, lots of people are, and then they can't afford a holiday. Lots of people out there who are struggling and who have just had kids and who would love to go away but just can't for a multitude of reasons. And I just think, it just leaves a bit of a sort of a sour taste in the mouth for a lot of people when they say, he's going on holiday. Yes, he might be entitled to one, and I get it, but he's not going to get much sympathy. And he certainly doesn't deserve the heroic sort of canonization he's getting from some of the right-wing media and some of his fellow MPs.
Yeah, it was Nadine Doris.
Nadine Doris. From fucking I Want to Be a Celebrity. I'm a Celebrity, sorry, get me out of here.
Yeah, so she put, when I read articles written by journalists which are deeply personal, mean and nasty, I wonder how much love and happiness they have in their own personal life. The PM almost died. He has fought with every ounce of strength he had to recover. Let him have a flaming holiday. #karma.
Oh, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
The thing that I talk about this when I see that Boris is on holiday, I'm always on the belief as a man of the written word and sort of understanding what words mean, that if you're taking holiday, that's a break from when you've been working. He's not fucking done anything for the last fucking however long. So, you've got to do a bit of work before you take a holiday.
That's like laying on the beach in Ibiza with a pina colada and going, right, I'm going to get a flight to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Because I need a break from this holiday. What? All right, okay, yeah. I'm doing a bit too much here. I mean, he's done nothing. Nothing at all, has he really?
No.
You know what I mean? I've not seen any leadership from Boris Johnson, other than trying to get, other than people feeling sorry for him when he got ill.
That was the only time during the whole coronavirus that I think collectively, I mean, and this is what I was saying before, is that when right and left can agree on something, nobody wants to see him die. I think by and large, nobody wants to see
Miriam Margolis or whatever her name is, who said that and got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
She was gutted when he survived or something. Listen, I don't like Boris Johnson. I don't like the Tories, but I'm not wishing him to die. We don't want to see that. I want to see Labour get their act together and win the next election. That's what I want to see. So, no, I don't want to see him die. Yes, I do sympathise with anyone who catches COVID, but I'm not going to ignore the fact that he did things that he shouldn't have done, which more or less led to him catching it. That's the point. He was bragging about shaking hands with hospital patients and then got COVID-19. And you're trying to tell me there's not a connection there? Secretary got it and was also seen not abiding by social distancing rules after he got it. It's like, you really are thick as pig shit and you expect us to follow you down the fucking abyss. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, we're not going to do that. So, it was just, it's just been a bit of a shit show, and the exam results and Boris going holiday. The big thing about Boris going holiday, as you've said, is he's already on fucking holiday, and he's been on holiday since he came into the public domain. I think. I don't think he's really sort of no day's hard work in his life. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
No, me neither. One man that did go on holiday though, Jay.
Nicely done.
And I think we'll be regretting it and won't be heading back to Mykonos anytime soon. Is Man United captain and the world's most expensive defender, Harry Maguire, has been banged up abroad for 2 nights. And I don't know if you've been in a Greek cell, Jay, during your time in Malia.
This is the thing, right? Was you?
I was in cuffs, and I was also put in a boot of I'm not too sure if they were police officers or just local, because they used to have like a local cartel, didn't they, in Malia that tends to run the town. So I got a bit rowdy one night on karaoke, and I got put in the back of a boot and driven off miles. So I had to walk back in the wilderness. It was a comical scene.
Mate, could have been worse. People go missing in the mountains, as you well know.
Yeah, people do go missing. But yeah, and then I got put in cuffs for having a drunken Lilo race one night. But I didn't. But that was as far as it goes. But go on, sorry.
So between me, you, who spent between us about 8 months in Malia, and Harry Maguire, who spent 4 nights, the only one who's been in a police cell out of the 3 of us in a Greek police cell is the Manchester United captain. Fucking hell, Harry. Even me and Scotty managed not to get ourselves nicked when we went to Greece. We weren't sat there when we were in our 20s, absolutely out of our head every night.
Wait. Well, just for fair context, we're talking about Boris Johnson working. Yeah,
that's sorry. I shouldn't be using the word same word.
We should have took a holiday after. We should have took a holiday after Malia.
You know, I needed a holiday after Malia. I think I went on holiday after Malia for the next fucking 15 years. I will say this though: the latest reports about Harry Maguire are that his sister was attacked. She got stabbed with something that was seen, some sort of object, and he was sticking up for her, and that's how he got himself in trouble. If that is the case, then I fully sympathise with him. I do, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a United fan. He's United captain. I think if a member of your family is getting attacked, especially your little sister, then you're gonna step in. I just think we've seen the sort of the outrage straight away from a lot of people, including some United fans as well. Some United fans, when it broke, I saw a load of tweets saying, give the captaincy to Bruno. I thought, fucking hell, man, he's not even had his fingerprints taken yet. And you're like, Harry Maguire's been arrested, give captaincy to Bruno. What?
Can you imagine having these guys as friends that are straight away like, nah, fuck it.
Hey, mate, Scotty, I've been nicked. Scotty, hello? Scotty's round my house emptying out my front room. He won't be needing these anymore.
Yeah. I always knew he was a bad egg. He wants to be now.
Scotty's already got a tweet in drafts. Distancing himself. Scotty and Motty is no more. Motty has been nicked. He's now continuing on my own. I never trusted him. Like, well, mate. Well, that's what he's like. He's like they turn on straight away. We did a thing. We did like the news on Paddock, and they do it outside Old Trafford. And at half 10 it goes out, and at 20 past 10 it dropped that story. So we recorded like an add-on and fitted it in, just to say like breaking news. Just heard this. Harry Maguire's been arrested. Haven't got any details. Been arrested in Greece. Some sort of altercation. More, we'll keep you updated. And the comments that were coming in were like, Give the armband to Bruno. He's not captain material anyway. I thought you don't even know the facts. You don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
And now there's also claims that the football fans goading him, slagging him off, singing Munich songs. I don't know. This is some of the reports coming out. We'll wait and see. I'm of the opinion, innocent until proven guilty. And I think unless he's sort of done something really off the chart, like he's for no reason whatsoever waded into a load of Greek coppers and battered them, then I can forgive him. We forgave Eric Cantona when he battered a racist. No one was really overly fussed when Roy Keane got nicked for I think he assaulted a woman or something in town once. No one really cared because he was very good at football and United were winning lots of trophies. So, are we going to lose our minds if it turns out that Harry Maguire was defending his sister? As long as he doesn't end up getting arrested in prison, then probably not. I think that's the main concern now, both for him, Manchester United. you know, as a fan, is that it's not serious and he doesn't have to do any bird because, you know, you're £80 million defender playing for the prison team. And what the fucking reason you bought him, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's like...
but no, I know, and I agree. I hope it doesn't happen, but it would be the most 2020 thing, wouldn't it, for United's captaincy? Having to serve time in a fucking...
You know, Harry Maguire wins his first honours. He's won the Mykonos Prison League title. He's like, what the fuck is going on?
Maybe they can get like a Greek. Amazon can do like a Greek fucking mean machine.
As long as it's like the original, not that fucking abomination that starred Vinnie Jones. That is genuinely one of the worst films I've ever seen. Didn't they remake it twice? They remade it that, and they remade it with our mate Adam Sandler as well, didn't they?
And Adam Sandler does not get through get no podcast goals without Adam Sandler.
Weird, isn't it? Because it's not even planned. It just leads to him all the time. Leave us alone, Sandler.
All roads lead to Sandler.
all roads covered in fucking horse manure. Zigzagging through the wilderness leads to Adam Sandler.
Can you imagine if the guys out there watching, the guys and girls out there watching this, and they're trying to pitch it to the mates to watch? What did he talk about? Politics and Adam Sandler? Really? That's quite a niche show.
Yeah, we've gone from like emotional getting upset to like seriousness to fucking taking a piss out of Boris Johnson to pissing on the remnants of Adam Sandler's film career.
It doesn't happen on any other podcast. You will not find this range.
We talk nonsense about any topic without prejudice. We will talk about anything. Even Scotty shaving his nipples. Yeah, we'll.
If anyone's seen the manscaping episode previously, some reason I've not typed manscaping into my Google. I don't know what they're doing watching me, and I was going through Pinterest before, and there was an advert for manscaping on there.
The Manscaped people still haven't been in touch with us. I'm very disappointed. Considering we spent an hour and 20 minutes talking about their products. And I've been checking my emails daily, and they're still not yet to offer us even a freebie. Do you know what I mean? We're very cheap. Just offer us a free what is it? Nutsack and crack shaver or whatever you call it.
Ball trim.
Yeah, ball trimmer. Just offer us that with its 700 RPMs. We'll be happy. But they're not having it. It's like Adam Sandler. He's not sent us a DVD box set yet. The amount of times we plug in. Mind you, we're not exactly encouraging people to go and watch his films. But no, Harry Maguire. I think you've just got to wait and see, haven't you? See what happens?
I mean, stop trying to throw the guy under the bus before you've even heard all of the story, or if he's even been, found guilty of it. And you're supposed to, what happened to innocent until proven guilty, and that goes to you as well, Piers Morgan. You fucking.
Oh yeah, what was he getting involved for?
Yeah, I'm very disappointed in Piers Morgan. Like then you wouldn't want to be Piers Morgan. If you're Piers Morgan's sister, you'd be like, oh fucking hell, thanks a lot.
Well, exactly. Didn't he get swatted off Jeremy Clarkson once? So I don't think he's probably not the sort of the toughest guy going. But there's been this sort of revisionist theory with Piers Morgan because he was so sort of anti-government over the COVID outbreak and he turned on Trump that he's all right, but he's not. He's still a twat. I mean, he was tweeting out some drivel about Meghan Markle before as well because he's obsessed with her because she's sort of backs Biden. And he was saying, and him and the Sun lot, and this is why I hate agreeing with the Sun, going back to our earlier thing, was saying like, she should be stripped of her title. This is an outrage. The monarchy doesn't do this. She shouldn't get involved in politics. And I tweeted out before a picture of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor visiting Hitler. They didn't get stripped of their titles for that. But Meghan Markle saying, I'm going to vote for Joe Biden, which is her right as an American citizen, dick twat. Then all of a sudden, outrage, the monarchy is going to fucking collapse and the world's going to spin off its axis because the brown woman has done something we don't like yet again. And it's not just being brown, obviously.
No,
do you know what I mean? It's like, fucking get a grip, mate. Yeah, Piers Morgan can just get back in the bin, really. And, stick to getting upset over vegan sausage rolls or whatever the fuck it is he's up to most weeks.
Sad bastard. One last thing before we wrap up. Did you see the tweet by Grub Manchester today?
Remind me.
Do you know who Grub are, or do you know where they are? So Grub's at the Mayfield Depot, like a chain of, I might get this wrong, but they have anyway, it's an eatery outside of Manchester. Really cool sort of artisan food. And what they did, they put a tweet out earlier on. Let me get the tweet up, and I will read it.
What is it? Grub in Manchester. Oh, sorry, go on. You get it up, mate. You know what you're doing.
Grub Manchester. So it goes, we will happily provide dear influencers. We have a new policy in regards to influencers requesting free food and drink in return for social media posts. We will happily provide a bounty of grub and booze for you to post in your socials, but you will pay full price for those items. I was like, people have been approaching them during this time where restaurants are fucking absolutely on their arse due to the fucking pandemic and lack of business. So they've been getting approached left, right, and centre by influencers from social media saying that, well, if we can come to your place somewhere and get free food and drink, we'll take pictures of it and advertise it on our websites for them. What sort of fucking shithousery scroungers are these to think about this? And why aren't we doing it, Jay, if there's free food and drink out there? Like, if you are, we'll quite gladly come and do a live Scotty and Motty podcast.
People will pay us not to go there.
That's an even better one. We won't come to your premises.
We won't come there. We won't tell people that we go there. So we'll help you that way. We'll help your customer by saying, you know what? Because if we say we go there and eat, people are like, we're not going fucking there. Them two fucking working class mank twats are there. Yeah, mate, it's just madness, isn't it? The whole influencer thing and everything that goes with it, and some of the sort of expectations and stuff. And it sets the sort of the whole influencer thing is quite dangerous, because in many ways it can lead people to think there's this sort of magical job out there where you don't have to do any work and you just live this lifestyle that's beyond your wildest dreams, where you're sort of sitting in Mercedes Benzes and flying in sort of private planes and sitting by the pool all day, and you just take photos of yourself doing it, and then you get loads of money for it. And that ain't the reality. And we've seen it. I don't want to get all deep on this, but I think we've seen it with sort of some of the Love Island contestants, not Caroline Flack, the presenter, but because she had different issues, different reasons. But with some of the contestants, I think who struggle to adapt to life after the show, and in some cases, it's that sort of expectation, really, isn't it? That this is my life now. I don't have to necessarily do some of the jobs that I used to do in the past. I can do this. This is going to lead somewhere, and when it doesn't pan out, it can be difficult to take. And I think it can set a bad example, and it can lead people to think that there's just this easy money out there and this easy life out there, and that you can get that sort of sense of entitlement almost. And it's dangerous. I think it is dangerous because life isn't like that. And, an influencer lifestyle isn't one to really, to pursue. If you do something and you do it well, and then you get offered those opportunities, then fair play to you. Yeah, I'm not knocking anyone.
If you're getting an endorsement off the back of your talent, that's different than just showing your six pack or your body or whatever on a picture, and that is your one, your one talent in life. Hashtag, by fucking whatever brand. I get really fearful as a parent. I'm sure you're the same. Especially as I've got 3 daughters. Is that this seems aspirational now for young people that we're not asked about trying to find any sort of other job. That this is the road that I'm going down, and it's just unicorns and sugar. That's what you're selling people. And what, like I said, one mistake or something that happens in that world, and there's always more influencers or next Instagrammers coming up and stuff, and it's just you're on a hide into nothing. It's just so. And I mean, is that what you want to do with your life? Is that the legacy you want to leave? A fucking badly filtered fucking photo? You're just advertising boards. Fucking sort your heads out, man. Yeah,
it's like, at least the guy stood up outside the shop with a sign. He's putting in a bit of honest graft. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're just sort of, like you say, filtering a picture as well, it's not even a proper picture of yourself. You've actually filtered it. It's a nonsense. And I'm right. If you get endorsements on the back of your talents, fair play to you, but it's not something you should pursue or have ambitions around. You shouldn't sort of grow up saying, I want to be an influencer. I'm with you. I don't want my kids thinking that that's a career path for them. It's not. it's sort of it's you should get the opportunity to influence based on your talent, not try and get a career out of nothing towards influencing. And yeah, that whole culture, and it makes me laugh what you're talking about, going back to the original point about Grub Manchester and what they were saying. It's like,
but I mean, if you're out there and you're considering about an influencer lifestyle, just look at me and Jay as examples that you know, brains last and bodies don't. We used to be very good looking and pretty healthy back in the day, but we're still brainer.
Your brainer, you've got like, you know, a proper degree, haven't you? Mine's just in journalism. That doesn't count. You've got like, what's yours in?
Yeah,
you've got a degree.
I've got a degree in English lit and creative writing.
That's what I mean. That's like, you know, English lit, Dickens and Shakespeare and you know, other authors that are out there that I can't think of. Whereas, you know, journalism, it's just fucking. Do you know what I mean?
Apparently after the last hour and every other podcast that we spoke about, anyone could do journalism, even Piers Morgan.
Went to my uni as well, Piers Morgan.
Did I?
Yeah.
That's dirty, that, mate. I
feel dirty this week, mate. I've had sun readers and fucking gammons agreeing with me, and I went to the same uni as Piers Morgan. I'm an absolute sellout, man. I'm a disgrace.
Yeah, I've heard of yourself.
I'm going to go and eat some tofu and a vegan sausage roll and go and fucking chain myself to the school railings. Get back in touch.
Whatever you want to do when the wife's away, mate. You know, you crack on, pal. You got the house to yourself. I've been Scotty. That's been Motty. It's good to be back. Again, I apologise for the delay on the latest episode. But keep subscribing, sharing, and tell your mates word of mouth is as good as anything. We want to try and build this thing up to, you know, bigger and better things, and we can maybe get out of our mum's houses.
Yeah. Don't you just used to love it? You used to listen to like pirate radio back in the day and things when it was like someone proper in the mum's bed, in the spare room in the mum's, like stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, that's the sort of thing we're going for with this. So it's pirate radio for the middle-aged man.
Selling that mum's house, we have to do it in the spare room in the house.
Yeah, that's what we should call it. Pirate podcast or something.
Pirate podcast. Could be something in that. We'll have a think about it, eh?
Right, well, delete that off so they don't get fucking copied.
I think we'll be all right.
Are you sure? Them 300 people who keep watching us, you don't know, crafty bastards.